Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Erin, and in today's video we're going to be building yet again in the world of Chestnut Ridge. And sorry that this video has taken me so long to put up here. While I was doing it, I was actually like, is anybody even still playing with horses? Like it's taken me so long to do this. But August is my birthday month. My birthday's on August 15th, so I've just been kind of like, busy, celebrating my birthday and just kind of doing stuff for myself. I've been maybe a little selfish. I've been doing a lot of like personal gameplay, which I think I've said in some of my other videos. Like, I don't know, I've just been really like experimenting with, obviously mods and, custom content and everything like that. I've also been experimenting a lot with like different presets and just customizing like how my game looks and, just all that. I'm coming into The Sims 4, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to The Sims 4, and I'm just really getting into like the custom content community. So I'm getting like really distracted by it, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys can forgive me, and yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy this house that I'm building here. So I have this titled a dude ranch, and a dude ranch, if you're not aware, it's a ranch where you go and you like ride horses and, you just kind of partake in those westerny kind of like frontier type activities. I personally have never been to a dude ranch, but I've seen plenty of them on like television, and there's kind of like a part of our culture, I guess. I don't know. But I really want to make this mainly for my Sims that I don't really want them to like have horses. Like, I don't really want to like add them to their family. I really wish that with this pack there would have been a feature added where it was like you could like rent horses. I really hope like maybe like somebody could create a mod for that, because I would love that. But in the meantime, for those of us, who maybe play on console or don't want to use mods, my idea with this house and how I'm going to use it is I have a person living here, a Sim living here with 7 horses. So, that's 8 slots taken up right there. And then I'll have my Sims just come and like visit, but they'll just like stay. They'll stay the night. They'll be like, uninvited house guests that just kind of like stay there. So I built like a bunch of like guest bedrooms on the lowest level of this house that you'll see, kind of later on in the video when I go about decorating it and that. But I don't know. That's just my idea. Again, really wish I could just rent horses and have this be like a full-blown, like vacation rental, but I don't know. That's just how I'm doing it for my gameplay. So if you like the idea of that, definitely, get this in your game. I don't use any custom content. It's all custom content free. I do use a lot of the packs, but I would say for just like the exterior portion of this house, all you'll need really is Horse Ranch. I'm trying to think if I used anything besides Horse Ranch for the exterior, and I don't think I did. I think I used... No, I did. I'm sorry. I used the doors from the new greenhouse kit. I used that. You see I have like those tiny little doors on that like little side building right there when you go up the staircase. And later on, I switch them off camera to the ones from the greenhouse kit, just because the look that I was going for in this house, I wanted it to kind of have like that modern ranch thing going on. And so I switched that. And yeah, I just really tried to marry like rustic and modern, because this pack, it's maybe a little too rustic for my taste here and there, but I still really enjoy a lot of the elements. So yeah, I don't know what long-winded explanation I'm trying to give right now, but I switched it. So if you have horse pack and if you also have greenhouse kit, you'll have everything from the exterior. But then as far as the interior goes, I used everything at my disposal. I want this for my own personal gameplay too, so I really want it to use a lot. And a lot of the builds that I'm doing right now in Chestnut Ridge, I'm doing for my own personal gameplay because I want to bring my Sims to this world more. I don't so much want to have like the families that I currently play with living here, but I'd love to have them come like on vacation here and stuff like that. So I'm really trying to, you know, create lots of different places for them to go and do stuff. The next one that I'm going to do, and I've talked about this in a couple other videos, but I'm going to do like a country bar next. And that one I am going to be using custom content for, mainly because, and I've gone on about this like ad nauseum, but I really want to use that mechanical bull from Sepsid, who is an amazing custom content creator. And so I really want to use that. And then I think I'm going to use the organic collection from Felix Andre and Harry, or House of Harlocks, I should say. So that's the next build that I'm going to do. And then after I'm done with that, I really want to get out of Chestnut Ridge for a long time. I'm kind of like Chestnut Ridged out at this point. I know I've only done like 2 builds here, but I'm kind of like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out. I do like this world a lot. I've said in my last video that I did here, which was the barn conversion, I love it because it reminds me of Utah, and I used to live in Utah. And I know we already have like 2 like Western United States inspired worlds, or actually we have more than a few. We have a lot. We have Strangerville, which is kind of like Nevada, Arizona, and then we have, you know, Del Sol Valley, which is, you know, like LA, California. And then we have San Sequoia, which is like, you know, San Francisco, you know, Northern California. And now we have Chestnut Ridge. Oh, and then we also have Oasis Springs, which is like kind of like Palm Springs. It's just, there's a lot of California going on in this game, which, I mean, California is a beautiful state. I do like California. My mom actually grew up in California, so I'm very like familiar in a way with it. I haven't been there a ton. When I lived in Las Vegas, I went to California a couple times. Like I went to Los Angeles, and I went to Laguna Beach, and what is that other place? Huntington? Is that the one? Huntington Beach? Something like that. And yeah, like California is beautiful, obviously, very beautiful state, but it's so expensive there, and it's so overpopulated. Like the traffic in California is crazy, and I don't know. I could never imagine living there, but I know like a lot of people like in the United States, and from what I've heard outside of the United States, like want to live in California. And I'm like, yeah, to each their own, but I personally would never want to live there. It's just so expensive. And yeah, no, I'm good. And it's so overpopulated. Like I can't deal with that much traffic. Like the traffic in California is crazy. I remember when I lived in Las Vegas, me and my family went to IKEA, and a trip to IKEA took like almost an entire day, like morning and night, like getting back, just because the traffic, like going from Costa Mesa, California back to Las Vegas was just insane. I couldn't believe how bad the traffic was. It's something that needs to kind of be witnessed in person just to see how bad it is. But anyway, I realize I'm like mega rambling right now about California and their traffic. But what I'm doing now on the screen is I am doing the exterior. So you would have seen, you know, as I was kind of going on there, I was doing the exterior. The exterior, like the build, like building out like the shell of the house was a process, because I got through doing it and my entire, like, you know, The Sims just crashed, which, you know, notorious for crashing. But I didn't save. I'm so bad about saving my games sometimes, and it was pretty devastating. So I had to restart. So if any of the footage looks like a little bit like off, yeah, that's why. It's because it crashed as I was doing it. And so I had to start over, which is great. You know, don't we love it when that happens? But just reminds me just to always be saving. Always save the game. I'm like really trying to get in the habit of saving it like every like 5 minutes, just because because sometimes it just crashes like nonstop. So I'm doing, you see, I have that like raised area there, and I surrounded a lot of the cliffs that you already see in the area where the lot is. So this is the 50 by 50 lot up on the northern part of the map. I think there's a name for what this neighborhood is, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's the northern part of the map. So I did demolish the lot that was here. It was just kind of like a tiny little cabin. And, you know, I built this nice big mammoth dude ranch here. And I really want to make the landscaping and just the whole like environment out here match the surroundings really well. So that way it just kind of like meshes, you know. That's something that I'm really trying to work on when I'm doing my builds, is making it like match the surroundings. I look back on some of my other houses that I've done, and you know, again, I'm like new to The Sims 4. I'm new to building in The Sims 4. So I've looked back at some of my other builds and I'm just like, oh, like I don't think I matched the environment that well. But yeah, for this one, I really wanted to, you know, start the process of matching it, because I think that's really important, and it, you know, just makes it fit into the game and everything like that. But I'm doing the landscaping right now, and the landscaping wasn't too bad just because I was just pulling from the horse ranch debug and was just kind of placing stuff around that, again, you know, just match the environment around it. So I didn't have too many choices, and that's pretty key for me, because if I have too many choices sometimes when it comes to like plants and landscaping, I just get really overwhelmed and I just run around just plopping stuff all around like breathlessly. As I've said before, like I just run around like crazy, just like putting plants around. And I don't know, landscaping for me is like, I don't know, I enjoy it and I don't enjoy it at the same time. I look at other builders and their landscaping and it's just so effortless, and I'm like, gosh, I wish mine could be that effortless. I feel like it takes me so long to do it, and also add to the fact that I'm doing it, you know, on camera to put on YouTube, and there's just like this added pressure that I'm putting on myself to just make it look good and cohesive and make sure my footage looks good. So I don't know. When it comes to doing the exterior of a house, I'm always kind of stressed out. When I get inside of the house, I'm more relaxed, because I don't know, I'm naturally more inclined to do the interiors of houses. But again, like I've said previously, I'm trying to work on getting better on the exterior. So if you've watched my videos from the beginning, you know, hopefully you see that I'm getting better at doing the exteriors. I'm trying to put more detail into it. I'm trying to make it more kind of elaborate, more original, and everything like that. I follow so many amazing builders on Instagram. That's like mainly where I get a lot of inspiration. Not to say that there's not amazing builders on YouTube. I follow tons of them on YouTube as well. But man, the ones on Instagram, I don't know, maybe it's because they're not doing it to put on camera. Because yeah, editing sometimes a really long build is kind of a beast. But the level of detail that some of these like Instagram builders like only exclusively can do are amazing. There's one that I really love. I'll pop her name up on the screen actually, but he or she, I'm sorry, I don't know, you know, what they go by, but they do amazing builds. I think they're out of Germany, and I like stalk them on Instagram, and I love looking at all their builds, and I like comment on all their builds, and I'm like, how the heck do you do this? You're just incredible. It's just, yeah, there's just so many amazing builders on there. But now I'm just kind of finishing up the front of this build here, and I'm, you know, putting down all my terrain paint and whatnot. And the back of it, I do off camera, like I landscape off camera, because I just think it's, you know, a little monotonous watching me do kind of the same thing front and back. I think you kind of get the gist of it from what I'm doing in the front to the back. But I put in that little raised area there leading up to the house, there's that little cool bridge too that like takes you kind of over the little rocks that I have situated down there. And then I also put a little fire pit there, and it's great. And it's all functional. It all works great. The bridge works great and everything like that. Alright, so now we are on to the inside of the house here. So I'm building out this living room, and of course this living room, oh my gosh, I am so bad about this. I make rooms too big. Somebody tell me how I can stop doing this. I make them too big, and I think the reason why this room got so big was because I really wanted that like big kind of like picture window that you see there, just to really make it feel like, you know, one of those kind of like western-y cabins, although this house is like obviously like a freaking mansion. It's by no means a cabin, but you know, it's the space in this living room. I love it, but I kept thinking like I need to put more, like I need to fill the space more, but I kind of resisted the urge to do that just because I don't know. I like to make the spaces that I do like meaningful. I don't just like to cram stuff in there just to cram stuff in there. And I do like to clutter, but I don't like to clutter into oblivion, I guess. I don't know. I just like to make the spaces look like realistic, you know? That's really how I like to decorate the most in this game. Now, I mean, I have put builds up and I have made builds on my channel and just in my own personal game that are very like fantastical, I guess you could say. Like, you know, I did like that little Barbie dream house and stuff like that, but those are kind of like one-offs. Overall, like what I love to do is I love to make spaces like that you could actually like fully see like in real life. Now, I don't know if a dude ranch would ever look like this, but you know, my dream dude ranch, if I were to ever go to one, which actually I've always wanted to do that, would look like something like this, you know. It'd be kind of like an upscale dude ranch, you know. I don't know. I'm trying to think about the ones that I have seen like on television and stuff, and they're usually, it's almost like kind of like, you know, like when you go to like summer camp and there's like a bunch of different like buildings and stuff like that. That's how dude ranches have looked. that I have seen that I recall on like television and stuff like that. But I don't know, for this house I didn't do that, but like midway through I thought, I was like, oh, that would have been kind of cool if I could have done like a bunch of like separate buildings and stuff like that. That would have been cool. That would have been a lot of work, but it would have been really cool. But yeah, so right now I'm doing this big living space, and so like I said, I wanted this to feel like a resort. So not a resort, but you know, like a vacation kind of destination. So my idea is, you have this main house. So, you know, when you saw the house from the beginning, there's kind of like two sides, and then off to the, what is it? The left-hand side there, you see that little black tile. That's like a little bridge that I have that's like connecting the two separate complexes. But so this side that I'm doing right now, this is where like the guests would stay. So it has the more formal living room, formal kitchen, sort of formal dining room, and then it has this big like bar space where they can sample like all the local nectars and stuff like that. I don't know. That was just my idea, and I thought it'd be a good way to, you know, fill in the space. So the bar area, that's my idea going into that. And then the other little building on the other side of that little bridge situation there is the apartment for the person that actually like owns the Dude Ranch. So like how I'm gonna do it in game is I'm gonna like lock the doors so like nobody can get into that apartment, and so like all the people visiting will just simply stay on, you know, this side of the house. And hopefully that'll work, because I've done it before and it doesn't work, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll work. I still haven't like completely used this lot for its purpose yet. I have had my Sims, like one Sim like visit, and you know, obviously I play test it. I play test all my builds before I put them up on YouTube, or before I, you know, kind of put the final stamp on it and say that it's done. And the lot works really, really good. I didn't have any issues with this lot at all. So I did have issues with like objects like randomly deleting, but that's been happening on a lot of my builds lately. I don't know if it's like a mod issue or something like that, because again, I have so many mods in my game. I'm not gonna go into like a full-blown mod discussion, you know, or maybe I will. I don't know. I love them though. I love mods, and I've been really getting into watching like other people on YouTube do like Let's Plays and stuff like that. And I'm sorry if you can hear snoring in the background. That's my dog Buster. He's a pug, so his snoring's really loud. But anyway, I've been getting really into watching Let's Plays, like other YouTubers do those. And, you know, I love watching the ones that use a lot of custom content and a lot of mods. And like every video I watch of these different players that I watch, like I'm like, oh, I gotta get that mod. Oh, I gotta get that mod. And I'm just getting them in my game. And then in the middle of like, you know, this frenzy of downloading things, the Horsepack Ranch came out, and then they all broke. And then I was like, oh my God, I gotta fix all these mods. So I've just been, it's been a process. Let's just say that it has been a process. But one of the favorite Let's Play folks that I like to watch, I love Ashley Plays. She's awesome. I love her aesthetic that she has going on in her game, like the way her game looks. The Sims that she makes are like so beautiful, and I'm just obsessed with her. And I love her play style. I love her voice. I mean, I'm a big fangirl of hers. I'll drop a link to her channel down there if you guys want to check her out, but I love her channel. I'm also watching Kosmic Hippie. She's doing the Ultimate Decades Challenge, which that's really cool too. That's like basically where you start like back in like, I think like the Middle Ages, and just kind of like work your way up to present day, like through kind of like a legacy type thing. But then there's also like you go through like a famine, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And Kosmic Hippie, like she has like all these like different CC and mods put in her game that literally makes The Sims look like a whole different game and almost act like a whole different game too. It's crazy. I love it. I love the mod community. Like, I think The Sims 4 would have been dead like eons ago had it not been for the mod community. Like, it's amazing. And I really wish, like, the other game that I really love is Animal Crossing. New Horizons actually was the first Animal Crossing game I've ever played, but I got so into Animal Crossing, and I have like over 1,000 hours in that game. It's crazy. But I was so bummed out when that game stopped getting updates and they just released like one DLC for it, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks, because now I'm like bored. I need things to just kind of like keep my interest, I guess. And that's what's great about The Sims is we have, you know, like this huge mod community. And, you know, I guess also like with the DLC and stuff like that, that's what's nice about it is it does keep you kind of on your toes a bit of like what's going to come next to the game, like what's going to be introduced next. I don't know. I know The Sims 4 has been around maybe a little bit too long. Like, I feel like maybe Sims 5 should have been done by now, but I mean, at least they're still keeping the game alive, you know, in a sense. Granted, I'm worried about The Sims 5, if we're being honest here. I'm worried about it. From what I've seen that they've released about Project Renee so far, I'm a bit concernicus about what they got going on. Like, it sounds very microtransaction-y, and yeah, they I watch a lot of like the little Sims, like, you know, discussion videos and stuff like that. And, you know, they had like this like EA job listing for Project Renee. And in that job listing, they're talking about like how they're going to be bringing essentially like microtransactions, like almost like Fortnite style, to The Sims 5. And right after that was posted, like people in the Sims community were like freaking out, like, please don't do this. You're going to kill the entire franchise. And I agree. If they did do something like that, I definitely think it would have an impact on the franchise for sure. You know, that's another thing with The Sims 4 that, you know, is not great, is just the amount of DLC that's in this game. But like I said, I mean, DLC, what they have added to the game through expansion packs, it does kind of keep the game going. But I don't know. I guess my problem with The Sims 4 sometimes, and the expansion packs specifically, is that they don't contain enough content sometimes to really call themselves an expansion pack. Like Horse Ranch, for example, I personally don't think like there's enough content there to really make it like expansion pack worthy. I definitely get more of like a game pack feel from it. I think like the few expansion packs that I think really like live up to the name expansion pack are Cottage Living and Growing Together. And those are also like my two favorite expansion packs for sure, because I love the worlds that come with those. They have tons of build buy that came with them, tons of gameplay that came with them. And I don't know, they feel more fleshed out and they feel more just complete. You know, Horse Ranch, honestly, did it really need to be a standalone pack, or could they have added horses with cats and dogs like they did with Sims 3? I think they could have, honestly. I don't think horses need their own expansion pack. Like, I'm glad that we have them, and I think they did a really good job with them. But, you know, I don't think they deserve their own pack necessarily. But, you know, with that all being said, I do still enjoy the Horse Ranch pack. Is it my favorite that they've released so far? No. My favorite, you know, like newer pack is definitely Growing Together. I thought that was really good. But, you know, even with that one, I thought they could have maybe added a little bit more. Like, they could have definitely added like strollers, and they definitely could have added like, you know, elders with like their canes and stuff like that. Granted, I don't play with elders. I don't know. I don't get into elder gameplay. I kind of feel bad. I feel like I'm like avoiding playing with elders, but I hate seeing my Sims age up. I actually have aging turned off in my game right now, and I haven't been playing with my legacy family too much. So at some point they're going to get older, and I don't know. I just have a really hard time with seeing them get older, and then the idea of them dying, and I don't know. I have it turned off. Like I have two different like save files going. I have my legacy save file going, which is like one of my most popular videos on my channel, is the house that I built for them in Henford-on-Bagley. So I have aging turned on for them in that save file. And then this save file, like where I'm currently building this house for Chestnut Ridge, I have a bunch of like different families that I play with, almost more casually, I guess you could say. And I have aging turned off, so I can just kind of control that. But yeah, I hate that. I hate it when they get old and die. It's just so sad. When I played the game as a kid too, I really didn't play with elders too often. But yeah, so anyway, like I was saying though, I just think EA and Maxis or whoever is doing this needs to maybe like flesh out the expansion packs more, maybe to include more, and then we wouldn't need game packs and stuff packs and stuff like that. I actually don't have too much of an issue with the kits, because the kits are kind of like non-essential, really. They're just good for people that just like are really into build buy or really are into CAS, and they just want some like extra stuff. So I personally don't have like a huge issue with kits. I just wish they would stop releasing so many and focus on like better expansion packs. I guess that's my only issue that I do have with kits. But I don't think they're like a bad addition to like the Sims franchise. I think they're fine. But yeah, I am worried about Sims 5. I really am. I don't think they're gonna stop. I think they're just gonna like up the ante when it comes to, you know, DLC and like microtransactions. And that is really unfortunate, because that really, I don't know, maybe it will go over well. I have no idea. But with that happening, I'm more so like now looking forward to like, what is it? Paralives. I'm really excited about Paralives. I think that game looks so cool. I actually support them on Patreon, so I love to see like all the different updates that are coming out with that game. And I think it looks amazing. I know the art style is not for everybody because it's more like kind of cartoony, but I don't know. I like a little bit more of a cartoony look personally, because on the other side you have Life by You, and Life by You is the other one that's coming out, the other life simulation. That one's much closer to like actually being out than Paralives. I have no idea when Paralives is supposed to be coming out. But Life by You looks really cool as far as gameplay goes. Like the gameplay looks amazing with that. But the art style and like game style of that, I'm not like really super drawn to. Granted, I'm still going to get it and definitely play with it and build with it just because, you know, I love life simulation games, but I'm more excited for Paralives because personally for me, aesthetics are really, really, really important. I'm a Leo and yeah, they're really important to me. And so that's why I love The Sims 4 is because the aesthetics with this game are really nice, especially, you know, once you start playing on a computer and you can have like reshade or G-shade or whatever. I mean, that's like a total game changer to how your game looks. Which, speaking of that, I actually just recently switched from reshade to G-shade. So I think it was like pretty early on when I got this computer and I started building, I like got reshade like pretty much right away. And the reason why I got reshade versus G-shade is because G-shade had like all this controversy surrounding it, that they like put like files on her computer that like corrupted it, or I don't know, it was something like that. And I avoided it and I was like, okay, I'll just go with reshade. And I was really happy with reshade. honestly. But as soon as I got it, I noticed that my game was acting really weird. It was whenever I was building and I would hit the delete or the escape key, which you use pretty often when you're building. My entire game, like the screen would just either go white or blue, and then it would freeze and it would, it'd crash, or I would be forced to kind of reboot it. And I was like, what the heck? But I didn't want to get rid of my reshade because I love it. And for those of you who don't know what reshade and gshade is, it's just basically a program that enhances your graphics, and you download like different presets that tons of different people in the Sims community like have their own presets and stuff like that. So I love it. It's kind of like mods. Like now that I have it, I can't imagine playing the game without it. Just because, it really enhances the way that your game looks. It isn't too great for performance though, but yeah, so I got Gshade anyway, because I was watching another Sims builder, Plumbelina, who I also really like. She has really great gameplay and really good builds too. And she was saying how she switched from reshade to Gshade, and because I guess it just works better. So anyway, long-winded story short, I switched to Gshade and I don't have those issues. So if you're somebody who has reshade and you're experiencing those kinds of problems, like similar to what I described, get Gshade. It's really not hard to switch either. It's pretty simple. It's really easy, honestly, to just convert your shaders and presets over to it. So I highly recommend it. And the reshade that I'm using right now is El Crez's Gshade preset. But I've been getting really into like the graphics and the reshades and everything like that. And that's also been kind of like occupying my time as well. Actually, like right now, this footage that you're watching of me, I don't know what happened with my my screen recording, but the footage was like way too dark, so I had to brighten it up a little bit. So it's a little highly contrasted compared to how the game actually is when I play it. So if you notice the game looks slightly different, it's because in Premiere Pro I had to kind of like adjust the colors and brightness back to normal. But yeah, I've been getting really into like the appearance of my game and just trying to learn more about like the graphic settings of the game. And I started playing it in like windowed mode. I was playing in full screen mode before, and I couldn't believe how much that changed the way my game looked. And I don't know. I've just been over here like tinkering with my game like nonstop. I think I have my settings down to where I kind of want them right now, but I don't know. I might keep playing around with it. I'm not sure. So in future videos coming up, my graphics might look slightly different just because, I don't know. I've been also looking at like maybe kind of like making my own preset, because there's so many out there and they are just so like subtly different between one another, and there's like things I like in some of them and things that I don't. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling on about my freaking graphics and just talk about what I'm doing here. So you just saw me do the first like quote unquote guest room, and now I'm doing the second one. So there's 4 of them. So 3 of them have like double beds, they're just more like standard rooms. And then the other one, the last one that you'll see me do, has a bunk bed. And that's going to be like for, kids, I guess, or, 2 adults, whatever you want to do. But I went with like a more like kiddie theme on the inside. But these all have, bathrooms attached to it. It's in the downstairs portion of the home. And I tried to make this whole separate part of the house in a way that you could, like manage the doors and like lock out certain people and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes for my own personal gameplay, but I'm hoping that this works, because I really have a family that I want to take on vacation to Chestnut Ridge. And yeah, I don't want to add horses to their household. because I personally don't like playing with a household that's bigger than 8. I know you can do it with MC Command Center, but you have to go into, like, I don't know, you have to like edit them like one by one when you're playing with a house size larger than 8. And I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't like doing it for like all my families. I just do it for like a couple. So yeah, that's again my other long-winded explanation of why I decided to do this house for, you know, my own personal gameplay. But you know, it hasn't been that long since I was playing on my PlayStation, and I thought to myself, I'm like, shoot, if I was on my PlayStation, I would definitely need something like this, because I don't have access to any type of MC Command Center or anything. And I know there's a lot of people that, you know, play on console, you know, play on an Xbox or PlayStation. So I definitely think there should be stuff available to help those folks out, you know. So I'm finishing up now this last kind of, you know, suite, room, whatever you want to call it. And I'm moving on to the third one. So my idea was I was going to do 2 that were a little bit more like rustic. And then I was going to do one that was a little bit more like, you know, kind of like the more like baller suite, I guess you could say, if you want to use that really out of date term. But this one here, I really like. I had a hard time deciding like which one I like the most. I think it was the last one that I just did where it had like the really cool, like glossy panels, and it was a little bit more like glam. But I really like this one too. And I like the way that the kids' room turned out. But I think my favorite area on this build, and I have to tell you which one was my favorite, because that's a practice of mine. I really love the way that little apartment turned out. I was kind of yammering on as I was doing it, but I love the little apartment that I did for, you know, what I imagined to be the ranch hand that owns the Stewed Ranch. I absolutely loved it. I think it turned out so good. And yeah, I love like that little living room. I was finally able to use like the couch and stuff that came with the Book Nook kit a little bit more, which is great because I don't feel like I've gotten a huge chance to use the couch and chair that came with that. And I love the couch and chair that came with the Book Nook kit. I love that kit. That's probably like one of my favorite like newer kits that they've come out with. And I really wish they would come out with more like content kind of like that. That's more like modern and more like kind of neutral, not too themey kind of design. The rumor has it that the new, like, I don't know if it's going to be a kit or an expansion pack or a pack refresh or a stuff pack. I don't know. Right now, the rumor is that something is coming out involving the Grim Reaper. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know. I mean, I know the Grim Reaper's like super iconic to The Sims, obviously. Like, it's been in the game since, you know, Sims 1. But I don't know. Do I like the Grim Reaper enough that I want to see like an entire, you know, kit or pack refresh or whatever dedicated to him? No, I don't know. I actually have a mod in my game that takes the Grim Reaper out. And it makes like the whole death process like more, I guess you could say, like realistic. And I think there's like a forensic person comes to the scene or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen it in action yet. I just recently downloaded it actually. But yeah, so that's how little I really care about seeing the Grim Reaper personally. I don't know. I just wish they would give us, I want cars, honestly. That's what I really want. I know it's like really late in the game to add cars, but shoot, I mean, better late than never in my opinion. And I really want that. I know we can't have them like be, you know, drivable cars because, you know, Sims 4 is a closed world, but I would love to see, you know, them just get in a car to go to a destination. Like, just add that animation in, please. That would just be so cool, I think. And yeah, that's what I really want. I'm trying to think of what else. I really would love for them to take a cue from like Turbo Driver, from, you know, Wonderful Whims and Wicked Whims, and maybe add like an attraction system like into the game. So that way you don't have to have a mod for it. It would just be in the game. Although I do love Wonderful Whims / Wicked Whims, which actually I put Wicked Whims back in my game. I know in a previous video I was talking about Wicked Whims and how it's like way too much. And it is way too much. Like it is very, very graphic. But I have learned since watching a lot of these, you know, different Let's Play videos from different Sims creators that you can actually make Wicked Whims more tame. And the reason why I prefer it to Wonderful Whims is because there's actually some really cute like animations that your Sims can do that are not, you know, super raunchy that you can do with that mod. So I've been kind of like painstakingly going in and like disabling all the really raunchy animations in my game so they don't show up. So yeah, I like Wicked Whims actually. And it adds, I don't know, it adds like more like drama to the game because yeah, there's just like Sims like woohooing like randomly all over the place. And I think that's kind of funny. I don't know. And then they get like cute little like mood buffs from it. I don't know. It's adding realism to the game, you know? It doesn't get more real than Wicked Whims, let's be honest. So anyway, this is pretty much the last thing that I'm doing here. So that is the little like backyard area, but the pictures should now be rolling. I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, please do like, subscribe, comment, ring that bell so you get notified when I put up new videos. But I hope you guys are just having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye now.